Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for January the 22nd. I'm going to be pulling one card for each sign, so if you know a little bit about your astrological chart, you can get quite a bit of juice out of a short little reading like this. Thank you guys for being here and for spending some of your precious time with me. I do appreciate it. And of course, the contest is still running, so put a comment down below this video if you would like to be entered into the contest. Let's get started, shall we? All right, Aries, let's look at you guys. Aries, you guys have the Nine of Cups. This does talk about celebration and joy and happiness in most cases. You do want to be careful with this particular deck. The way the Nine of Cups is depicted to me, it looks like all the cups are right in front of this one person plus a couple of shot glasses. So you may want to be careful about overindulging. This is not going to be for everybody, but for some of you Aries out there, be careful to, use some temperance, keep things in balance, don't overdo, but, don't not celebrate. Just don't do things that you know are more than what you should be doing to celebrate. Okay, so that's for Aries. Next up we have Taurus. King of Cups showing up for Taurus. Taurus, I think that you are very comfortable today with your feelings and with expressing your feelings, letting people know around you how you feel about certain things. And I feel like you guys are setting some parameters. I don't feel like this is necessarily boundaries like we would see with the Seven of Wands, but it does feel like you're setting some parameters with people. You're letting them know what you're expecting from them. It's almost like a supervisor type of energy or a dad type energy. There's a certain amount of leadership. It's not unfriendly. But I do think you're letting people know what you're expecting from them today. That's how this comes across to me as far as psychically on top of the meaning of the card. Now, let's look at Gemini. One card at a time, please. Gemini, Three of Clubs showing up in reverse. This just tells me that you're making some changes or some adjustments to some type of long-term plans or possibly travel plans. If this is travel plans, it's very likely that you're making those changes as you're actually traveling, kind of at the last minute type thing. But for others of you, this is talking about more long-term plans. Where are we going to go to school? Where are we going to settle down? When are we going to start a family? Those types of, long-term, out in the future type plans. And these are being changed or adjusted because of something that comes up or has come up recently. Okay. So, that was who? That was Taurus only? No, Gemini. That's what I thought. Okay. Next up, let's look at Cancer. Cancers, you guys have the Eight of Coins showing up in reverse. This just means that you're not getting any work accomplished today. If you were planning on it, you may want to have in mind some type of rain check day for that because nothing's really getting accomplished, whether it's that you don't feel like it or that there's something interfering with that happening. And this can be work, like how you make a living. This can also be work to help somebody else or volunteer. Or this could even be work around the home. Just, you're not going to feel like you've had a very productive day as far as work goes today, Cancers. Okay. Next up, let's look at Leo. Leo. Ace of Coins showing up in reverse. This just means that you're giving somebody a gift. And I will tell you that sometimes when we give somebody a second chance, this comes up under this card for me too. It talks about giving a gift or giving a second chance. Next up, let's look at Virgo. Virgo, you guys have the Falling Tower showing up in reverse. Falling Tower in reverse is telling me that in the past, before today, there was something that made you feel secure and stable that was suddenly and unexpectedly removed from your experience. With the Falling Tower showing up today, this is telling me that whatever that thing was, you're replacing that with something that is actually better than what you had before. So that replacement, we see that coming in today. Whoop, whoop, we like it, Virgo. Next up, Libra. Libras, you guys have the moon showing up in reverse. Now, I will tell you, the moon in reverse for me is a card that talks about some type of truth coming out that was not really at the surface before. And this is not a truth that you're having to dig for, Libra. You're not having to fish for it at all. It's just coming up very organically. Maybe even against the will of whoever this truth is regarding. All right, next up, let's look at Scorpio. Scorpio. Okay, so Scorpios, we do have the Justice card showing up here. This is telling me that we're having some type of interaction with, for some of us at least, we're having some type of interaction with a government agency, whether it's a court or some other government agency, and there are some decisions being made here. So this may be decisions that we have an input on, or it may be that somebody is just making decisions around a situation that's ours, but either way, somebody making some type of decision. And for a lot of us, this is going to be at a governmental type of level somewhere. Now, it doesn't have to be that, but if it's not at a governmental level, we're still looking at somebody who's making some type of decision regarding us. And the other thing that is here on this card is that this decision is being made in a very fair way, okay? So we're not dealing with some type of corruption or, nastiness like that. Somebody's being very fair with us. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, we have the Empress showing up in reverse. I don't like this card when she's in reverse, Sagittarius. It just means you're manifesting in those things that you don't really want to manifest in. And it also gives us a clue as to how you're doing that. The Empress there's two master manifestors in the tarot deck as far as I'm concerned. One is the Magician, and the second one is the Empress. No, it's not the Emperor and the Empress. It's the Magician and the Empress for me. So the Empress manifests in more of a receptive type of way. She lets the universe know what she would like to have and then gets out of the way and lets the universe bring that into her. Where the Magician has all the tools and goes out and does the hustling to make things happen. Okay, so with the Empress showing up in reverse, what's going on here with you Sagittarius today is that you're manifesting in a receptive way, but you're manifesting exactly what you don't want, which means your thoughts have been focused on what you're afraid of or what makes you anxious or what you don't want to happen, rather than, maybe even worst case scenario, rather than what you're actually striving for and what you would like to see in your life and what would make you happy. So when we see this card come in, especially if we haven't gone through our day yet, we want to be really careful about the direction that our thoughts are going through the day, and we want to really abort any of those thoughts that are going the wrong direction, that are going towards something that we're afraid of or nervous about or don't want. We want to abort those thoughts and replace them with something that makes us happy. Doesn't have to be the opposite of what we were thinking, but it does have to be replaced. That unhappy thought needs to be replaced with something that does make us happy. Okay, so that's for those of us with Sagittarius placements. Next up, let's look at Capricorn. Capricorns, you guys have the Strength card in reverse. Some of you are literally skipping a trip to the gym today, or your run, or your swim, or whatever it is that you do. Okay. For others of you, I feel like you're having some issues with self-esteem and you're feeling unempowered about getting some things accomplished because of your issues with self-esteem. So you want to be really sensitive to those and pay attention to when you're paying attention to what other people think of you and letting that color your perception of yourself. That is not necessary and not even healthy. Okay. Next up, let's look at Aquarius. So Aquarius, you have the Four of Coins showing up in reverse. This just tells me that you had something stashed away and you're taking that out of stash. This can be some type of material good, or this can actually be finances, like you see this guy holding, that you've had stashed away and you're taking this out now because you want to use it. So sometimes this comes out because we're using it for exactly what we planned on using it for. Sometimes it comes out because we had something come up and we need to have it, and so thank goodness it's there. Either way, the bottom line on this is that you're taking something that had been stashed away and using it now. All right. Next up, let's look at Pisces. Pisces, you guys have the Eight of Swords showing up here. This is telling me that you're really stuck in your mind about some type of decision you're trying to make, and you're sort of thinking in circles. I don't feel like you have to make this decision today, but I think you recognize that it is coming up, and so you're thinking and thinking and thinking and overthinking about it. Here's the thing. You want to look at this situation from a different perspective. You want to step back and look at it from a more neutral perspective. And if you can do that, then you'll see this little pathway through the thoughts here that you could actually come out to a pathway that you're going to appreciate and like and be happy with the consequences of. But it's going to take getting into that different perspective. And the way the energy sits, we don't see you doing this today. So this is one of those times when you want to use free will to change what we see on the table and actually get that different perspective so that you can find a solution here so you don't remain stuck and stagnant for the day. Okay? So that's what I've got for everybody. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for booking private readings and Reiki sessions with me. And of course, thank you for all the likes, the shares, and the subscribes, and the comments. It's all of you guys' support that keeps me doing what I love to do for my living. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone have a fantastic day. Peace out.